Awesome. Thank you for that, Sharita. Very excited to be here connected. First of all, I want to thank you for joining me every Sunday in this incredible cause. So excited to be here connected with everybody that's joining us each and every single Sunday. First of all, everyone that's watching, congratulations for taking a couple of your minutes of your Sunday. I know it's everybody had an hopefully everybody had an incredible weekend. Unfortunately, it's almost over, but you know what? One of the things about this incredible industry is that we're able to, be able to build and work in different time zones, and at the same time be able to establish friendships and relationships with incredible people from different areas. So very excited to be a part of this, and this book club that we're that, like you mentioned right now, Sharita, super excited to be a part of this incredible book club, simply because it's allowing me to grow as a person, but at the same time it's allowing me to learn about how can I apply a lot of the things that we're learning from this incredible book. And one of my takeaways in this book is called the law of promotion. That's one of the things that I was able to get, where in this chapter, for a lot of the people that haven't been keeping up with our Sunday calls, on this chapter, I would encourage you to go back and watch our previous videos from the last couple of weeks. And one of the things is that, one of my takeaways was that, it talks about, how you cannot change people. However, you can change how you deal with people. And so one of the things about what I like about this is that we're learning how to be able to develop these skills, how to communicate more effectively, how to be able to really reach people, as friends, as people, like we all want to be treated, and so one of the things that it also talks about is that we must learn how to prosper where we're planted, right? And so I love that, simply because a lot of the times, we tend to find excuses as why, we don't have this or we don't have that, or, I don't know how to use technology, or I don't know what to say, or I've never been in this kind of business. Those are the examples that I got from this, and I'm like, okay, well, you just got to learn to use whatever you have in this available, and so that's the same thing that we all must do, right? Be able to learn and grow in the process, right? So learn to weigh our ego against our bank account, right? So I love that part. It's really exciting because it's something that I was able to understand, because that's one of the things from the previous chapters that it also talks about, being able to face that ego, and at the same time continue to grow as a person, and become a student.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I that ego, yes, that like boom, couple of things for me. It helped me kind of recognize and check myself, right? So again, and this is what this book club is about. Again, learning from people who have went through it, because they're not they wasn't born with a silver spoon. Some of the people that we talk about, she wasn't, definitely, right? So she had to go through these struggles to learn to grow, so she can write this book, right? Not just one, she has a few books, right? But this is giving her the confidence to, so she can be able to say write a book. And from, like you said, the previous chapters, her being homeless, and now she's a multi millionaire. This is why we're reading this book. This woman been through some challenges in her life. And I would like to elaborate on the title itself, Magnetic Influence. And what that means is that, in my opinion, it's influence. Because let me go back here. Some people think that influence is a bad thing. It is not. It's a good thing. It's a law of attraction. Okay, when you are able to influence people. Remember that old saying where it says, "It's not who you know, right? It's not what you know, it's who you know, right? To
That's
get you
right.
a job." This is the same. This is why influence. That's the key. It's about building a network. It's your network of people that you know. But also the important thing is, once you get the job, you got to know how to keep the job, right? And you have to learn those skills, right? You have. That's the thing, is so you get in the door because of who you know, who, like I said, the influencer got you the job, but again, we got to work on ourselves to keep that job. And that's what came to my mind with this, one of the takeaways. And you said, I think something about focus.
That's right.
um Again, focus to me is the same thing. Always, I knew that when I was in my 20s, I see something that I want, and I knew at that time in my 20s, I don't make a lot of money at 20 years old. Actually, I was in college, but I knew that some things I wanted to have when I got older, or when I had the money to do that. So what I did was, I I reached out, law of attraction, if you will, in the universe. I put it out there. I want that, right? I focused on getting that. I worked, okay, and until I got it. And that's just how I am. Some things take longer than others things, right? But you just got to stay focused on that. So that's what was one of my takeaways.
Exactly. And just like you're mentioning right now, the law of focus, that's one of the things that I really that I one of the laws that I took from this as well, just like you mentioned right now. What is it that like you shared with us about how Danny, she was able to do this. She had to acquire these skills, right? One of them is learning to increase our ability to focus, as well as learning new business skills. A lot of the times we tend to, you know, seem to get stuck, right? And we're not really sure how to advance. But it's just a matter of, learning these new skills, being able to develop and grow as you're building this, to be able to continue to become better in every area. For example, the different skills as entrepreneurs, you must stay with an open mind, just simply being teachable and coachable. She talked about this in the previous chapters, in the previous two chapters, where those are also part of entrepreneurs. You mentioned right now being able to stay focused, and so one of my takeaways as well was the relationship relationship marketing. The times, as entrepreneurs or people that are come from different industries, people tend to think that we're just simply selling another product, that we're just another
Right.
salesperson. We're
Right.
just simply out for the money. But no, in general, we're just simply personally, I like to see myself as just simply developing relationships and figuring out, how can I help this other person? How can I give value? How can I help this person become better? What can I do? What can I offer this person so that I can be able to make sure that they either see their results, whatever it is that their goals are, because when as it talked about the ego, when I stopped focusing on myself and I start focusing on what
Mm-hmm.
my the people that I'm working with, whether what is it that they need, right? How can I help these people? How can I be able to give them value, right? So that's one of the reasons. That's also one of the takeaways that I got from this book. Learning how to sell. And when it comes to selling, it's not specifically that you're having to sell a product or a service or anything. No, selling is basically about trying to, about building relationships and growing your influence. That's one of my takeaways that I got from this, because,
Mm-hmm.
we tend to think that selling is, we have a different, very negative image
Right.
of
Right.
selling, and that's one of my takeaways that I got from this chapter.
Yeah, we'd be here all night with that one. But I wanted to elaborate on something you just said. I want to go back to focus. This is
Yes.
something, I think, in life in general, that she had said. And here it is. So what people in general, whether you're in business, work, school, uh, relationship, this is key, because I'm gonna repeat this. I love this. What we need to do is learn that success is never convenient, and neither is failure. That we are going to be inconvenienced either way. So the key is to learn how to succeed with inconvenience. Hello,
That's right.
drop the mic. That's what I think. People think they're not supposed to have any obstacles, any trouble, no setback. Everything's supposed to just be perfect. Perfect marriage, right? Perfect job, perfect business. That's, I think, is what keeps people from moving forward, because they're not supposed to have any obstacles. So we have to learn to succeed with inconveniences.
Exactly. That's right. And like you just said right now, obstacles are simply part of what makes us stronger. A lot of the times, from what you just mentioned right now is exactly the same things that, as she had to face her fears.
Mm-hmm.
She had to deal with these
Yes.
obstacles as well. She had to face these challenges that we all have, and it's mostly in our mind, mental
Mm-hmm.
challenges that we're having to deal with. And so, when she breaks down these laws and the way that she breaks it down in details and she personalizes it with her own experience, it's so easy to relate to that. It's
Right.
something she knows exactly what this entrepreneur roller coaster is,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Mm-hmm.
she's applying her experience, she's applying her ideas, and at the same time, it's something that's relatable to a lot of us because these obstacles, we see obstacles that, like, for example, we tend to think, oh, I don't know how to talk to people, or I don't know what to say, or, I'm timid or I'm shy. Those are simply obstacles that we must face. At one point, we all had these obstacles, but
Right.
eventually, over time and practice, you get better.
Right.
And you eventually learn how to face these fears. That's exactly what she's talking about here. And I love it because, the way that she breaks it down, she explains, exactly about how to influencing, using your influence, using your the skills that we were all born with already, and at the
Mm-hmm.
same time being able to learn how to. She talks about how to, the book that's one of my favorite books, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Hello. Yes.
I would encourage everybody to read. It's
Right.
one of my favorite books. I'm sure
Right.
you've read that one as well. uh,
Yes. Yes.
I love that book, and it's
And
definitely one of the best books that we could all get our hands on. And I wouldn't be surprised season for the next book for after we're done with this one.
mm-hmm.
But it talks. She also talks a lot about making friends first. When it comes to
Yes.
building, doing this. Learning how to make friends. And that's basically what this is all about. Establishing relationships, relationship marketing. Showing genuine interest in other people.
Mm-hmm.
Learning how to communicate effectively. And
Yes.
not just trying to see what's in it for you, but mostly
Right.
focusing on the big picture, right?
Mm.
Another, the last takeaway there before I pass it on to you, it's learning how to listen, right? That's one of the
Woo!
things that he talks
Woo!
about. Learning how to listen, and a lot of the times, especially in today's society, where with this little device, everybody's an expert nowadays, right?
Right.
And so, unfortunately, the advice that we're taking, we should be taking advice from the right people who have
Mm-hmm.
those results. And that's basically what I love this,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm
Mm-hmm.
learning from people who have achieved those results, people who
Mm-hmm.
are doing that. And so for me, I consider myself a huge student, from, I have several mentors, and just like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning from this book. Most of my mentors, they people who are truly extremely successful, they're
Mm-hmm.
all very good listeners.
Yes. That's a key. That's a huge key. And that was difficult for me too in the beginning, but I'm getting better, right? I'm getting better. But I want to elaborate on what you just said about the friendships first. And it's kind of a joke though, Arturo. Growing up and watching TV and listening to business people, and all they did was go to lunch. Let's go to lunch. Let's go to lunch. Let's go to lunch. Let's go. I'm like, do they even work? Right? All these successful people, like, they just, let's go have lunch. Let's go have lunch and dinner. I'm like, okay, all right. That's what that's what you do, I guess. So when I was reading this book, the chapter where she talks about the billionaires, how they how they do networking and relationships, and she had a I guess, what do you want to call it, a house on Bora Bora, and she was selling it, and the buyer happened to be a billionaire. So she thought that so they connected so they can go show him the house, so she could sell him the house. he's like, oh no, I just want to, I want to meet the person that I may be doing business with. Let's go have lunch.
Yeah.
He didn't even want to look at the house. He says, let's go have lunch. So for 2 hours, he asked her about her dog, her kids, her husband, her hobbies, what she liked, her artwork. He built, what did he do? He built the relationship to see if, I guess, they're good enough, to, if I like them enough to like to buy their house. And so, and so now it's making sense to me here. When I was a kid, like they always go to lunch because they were building relationships. Because when do you have a good conversation over food, right? So
That's
I
right.
love that. That was huge for me. Go ahead.
I love that as well from the book. It's really, really great because that's all it's focused on, specifically building relationships, marketing, effectively, not really just selling
Right.
or, focused on, the product or the service or any of that, mostly, caring about people. That's what it really, what this chapter is mostly about, learning
Yes.
how to honor people everywhere we go, being able to really focus on forming the relationships. And it talks about so many different examples, and like you said, we could really be here all night because this chapter, it's really packed with so many nuggets.
I
um
know.
I wish we had all the time in the world.
I know,
It
right?
even, it even talks about, the funny part. It talks about even the tone of your voice, how
Yes.
you can use that to influence. And, that's really another one. How it talks about the nonverbal communication, how simply the way you carry yourself, the way that you move in the world, you can use that as a way to influence somebody else, and it's definitely something to practice.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about the words of encouragement, how
Mm-hmm.
we all have the power with our
Mm-hmm.
words, either to create or to destroy,
Mm-hmm.
and so the words, I think, I come from a boxing background, and
Okay.
how like I've always been into fitness,
All right.
and and so, I always thought, a physical punch was always gonna be would hurt longer, but a lot of the times, words hurt a lot, are stronger than a physical punch, or physical pain or any of that nature, because the power of our words really do have, really do have the power to create or destroy. And it's all about how we use, our words. You can choose to use them to lift people up, or you can choose to use them to break people down, and so personally with this book, I'm learning how to be able to, you know um, focus on uh loving people, and focus on simply encouraging people, being more focused on the relationship, on how can I be able to not just have another customer, or not
Right.
just make another sale, but
Mm-hmm.
actually focused on the long-term relationship. How can I be
Mm-hmm.
able to really not just help this person, for a short term, but how can I really be able to help them make a lifestyle change? And that's one of
Absolutely.
the things that she focuses on. I love this part of
Mm-hmm.
the book.
Mm-hmm. And so when I was growing up, we had this saying, and I'm talking about when I was like 10 years old, 17 years old. And kids will be kids, right? They make fun of each other. And so some of the things they would say was hurtful, right? So for some reason the family had this saying, and it went like, sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never hurt you. I'm like, yes, it does hurt me. Yes, it does, because I can
That's
still remember
right.
all that from childhood. So like you hit me like here, that's only gonna last what, 5 minutes, or however long. But the names, right? The bad words that they use, it lasts a lifetime for some people. They just never forget it. So yes, so like you said, either you breathe in life into someone, or you breathe in death into someone. So words are very powerful, and that's why uh, we as an individual, as a business, as a state, country, world, we need more encouragement. the bottom line, we need more encouragement because it's too much. There's a whole lot of negative stuff out here, and we, we'll get that, but understand. But we need some more encouragement to help, combat that. So, with that being said, I mean, another great call, right? Uh, Another great chapter. This is just I'm learning and I'm loving it. So I'm hoping people will get value from this. So if you want to say one last remark, let me know, and we'll close it down.
Yes, yes. First of all, I'm very excited for, being able to do this every Sunday. We were talking earlier, Sharita. I called, and
Right.
I was just simply telling you, this is about having fun. And
Yes.
for everybody watching, mostly, this is just the beginning because this is the very first book that we're going over.
You're right.
And just the fact that it's the third chapter that we're going over, and we have a couple of more chapters to go over,
Right.
and this is just the very first book that we're starting. I cannot wait to see what the next book will be about. But first of all, everything that we're taking, all the nuggets, everything that personally I'm growing as a person in
Mm-hmm.
so many different areas, so many different levels. And we're being able to apply this knowledge, apply this on a day-to-day basis. That's one of the things that allows me and really motivates me to wake up excited in the morning, just knowing that every day, we're learning something new. And
Yeah.
the more I am able to face these fears, be able to feel more comfortable, and at the same time share my perspective, my personal view of everything that I'm learning from these books, and everything that we're taking from, incredible mentors and people like, this person, that we're all the
Mm-hmm.
authors, all the
Mm-hmm.
couple of mentors that, and especially, being able to share our perspective, our takeaways. And, I'm excited to be able to have a guest in the near future share with us
Yes.
this book.
Yes.
Very excited
Yes.
about that. So thank you
Yes.
for having me here and share with
Thank
you
you.
as well, Sharita. Very excited. And I'm going to leave the call to you.
All right. Well, I thank you for partnering up with me and being a part of this phenomenal, book club and call. So, with that being said, guys, we thank you for listening, and we're going to see you same time, same place next Sunday, 6 Central Time, 7 Eastern Standard Time. So remember, we're elevating our game in life so we can become a better version of ourselves. Thank you, and have an amazing week. Bye bye.